morning. First morning of my Christmas break. So I thought I'd go out with a camera for just a short one this morning. Just going to do a quick walk up on the Quantocks. Got a bit of a theme for today, which I'll explain when we get there. Something going to try something slightly different than what I normally do for woodland shots. So, but I'll give you a bit more detail on that when we get there. So, see you in a bit. Welcome again to the channel. This episode we've come up onto the Quantock Hills again, come over onto the sort of over towards the north side, very close to the area where I did a woodland shoot, one of my earlier videos, which I'll put the link up above, so check that one out if you've got time. It's a woodland area. We're going to walk up around to an area, sort of the Dowsborough area, and up to the old fort. Not that there's a fort there, it's just the fort location. So we're just going to walk up around there, and nothing in particular, see what we can see. Okay, so I mentioned I was going to try something a little bit different on this one. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to use my Nifty 50, the 50mm f1.8 prime lens. So I'm going to put that one on, and so all my compositions today, if I find any, will be using that 50mm prime lens. So it's going to mean I'm going to have to be a little bit more selective, maybe in positioning, etc. So we'll see what we can get. As far as, like, I'm a Nikon user. Everybody's got their own preference at the moment. I'm Nikon. Got a mate of mine, Martin, who comes out on some of my videos, who's desperately trying to get me to switch over to Sony. But for now, I'm happy to stick with Nikon. But the 50mm lens, the 1.8, is, I would say, really good value for money. It's just over sort of 120 quid, 120 pounds. And it's a prime, sharp, very versatile lens. I've used it for weddings, portraits, landscape, everything. And it's a cracking lens for that sort of money. So for value for money, definitely top of my list. As you may have seen on the intro video, there was a nice golden sunrise happening behind me on the way out, but unfortunately I missed it, and now it's starting to rain, and I wasn't expecting any major rain, so I've left my raincoat in my truck, so hopefully we don't have too much, so I'm going to get a tad wet. Now the water, the amount of rain we've had, the water flowing down through this pathway here has pushed the leaves up either side of it. It's almost like the pathway's been cleared for me. Okay, so I found a bit of a composition I'm going to use for my first shot today. Before I set up the tripod, I went round just handheld with a camera with a 50mm on, just trying some different options, seeing what was the best, see what I could do with the composition. So I'm using this tree here with the roots that you can see in the bottom, and then that tree over there, and then the pathway that leads off into the distance as a bit of a leading line. So I'm going to set some exposures and get a couple of shots and see what we can get. Okay, so this is looking relatively nice in the back of the camera. It's picking up the green of the roots, and then obviously the yellows and the oranges of the leaves, the fallen leaves up through the pathway. So I think it might be quite nice once I get it done and edited in Lightroom. Okay, pretty happy with them. Nice to get the old 50mm out again. I've not used it in some time. Forgotten just how sharp a lens it is, to be honest. So let's put the bag over my shoulder and we'll walk on up a bit further. Right, so I'm going to walk on up through. I've kept the camera out, and on the rain's eased now, so kept the camera out and attached to the tripod. Made sure it's nice and secure. So if I see anything, because I have to say I can be a bit of a lazy photographer at times. I probably walked past shots, compositions, because I can't be bothered to put the bag down, get the camera out, put it on the tripod. I've walked past them. So by having the camera out and on the tripod, it makes me bit more positive to stop and get the shot. So let's walk on a bit further. Stick with me. What I've done here, I found another composition using these nice mossy roots here in the foreground of the shot, and using, because we've got the old nifty 50 on, we've got the capability to drop it down to open the aperture right up and get a nice shallow depth of field. As you can see, the background is very busy with all those spindly trees. So I've opened the aperture right up to 1.8, shooting at a 50th of a second, ISO 100. By doing this, we've got a nice shallow depth of field, so the roots in the foreground are nicely sharp and in focus, but those spindly trees behind certainly don't attract your eye from the main subject of the image, are nicely soft and out of focus. So I think that might work quite nice. We shall see when we get it back on the computer. Okay, so here we are up at what is marked on the map as a fort location. Like I said, there is nothing here now other and some really nice old twisted gnarly trees. And as anybody who's been watched any of my other videos know, I can't resist a nice twisted gnarly tree. So let's see if we can find one or pick one out of many choices, and see if we can get a couple of shots. Okay, so I've narrowed it down to, for one of the shots, for this sort of tree here. It's got three sort of branches to it, 3 prongs. So I'm focusing on the center one. I've gone for a nice wide aperture again because the background is so busy. So I've gone for a nice wide aperture of f.2, f2. Therefore gives it a nice 3-dimensional fill, and this foreground tree should then stand out from the background in the final image. So hopefully we get what we're after. For this composition, which I'm now going to start making my way back to the trucks unless we see anything else, maybe the last one of the day. But this one, because I want a bit more depth of field, I've got a bit of stone here in the foreground that I want to make a feature, so I want that to be sharp. I also want the 2 trees on the side there that's catching the light quite nicely on the green moss to be sharp, and the track off into the distance. So I've opened the aperture up to f11 this time to give me a better depth of field. So I've had to increase the shutter time to 1/5 of a second, and I'm also going to take three shots, one focusing on these stones in the front, one focusing on the trees, and one focusing off in the distance, just to give me the option to be able to focus stack when I get it back, to hopefully get the best out of the image. So get the shots, and then we'll walk on down and make our way back. Well, I have to say, it's been quite enjoyable using the old 50mm again. I think I might have to come out the bag a bit more often for these sort of shoots. I think definitely next time I go down to Wistman's Wood, it'll be coming out the bag. Shame we didn't have a little bit of mist this morning just to make things a bit moodier, but there, we can't ask for everything. We have to make do with what we've got. So hopefully we've got some good images. This will be the last shot of the day. Got some quite nice light coming through onto the trees now. The sun's coming up a bit higher. We've got a nice pool of water here. So I've now shut the aperture right down to f16 to be able to slow the exposure. So I don't want to put any filters on. So I've slowed the exposure down just to soften the water a little bit. And going for a reflection shot, take a couple of shots whilst this light's nice, and then I think it'll be time to call it a day. Okay, so once again, thank you for taking the time out to watch my video. Check out some of the other videos on my channel. Hopefully you're enjoying it. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, please hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you know when the next ones come up. Give the video a like, it would be much appreciated, because that helps with the search options and the analytics. And also drop a comment down below. of anything you may want to see, anything you want different, and what you like or dislike. So until next time, take it easy.